Hi, and welcome to Transitional Changes Mission Podcast Show. This is your host, Queen Summers.
With your host, King Summers.
Tonight's topic, we'll be talking about self-preservation, and we would like to thank you all for listening to our show this evening. So stick around, stay tuned, and we'll get into tonight's topic.
Make sure you stay in tune with us and share the show and get all the things that you need and come on back in with us. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the Transitional Changes Mission Podcast Show with your host, King Summers.
And your host, Queen Summers. Now, the reason why I really wanted to bring this topic to the forefront this evening is because I know we all have seen reports of the panic at the gas pump, and self-preservation really brings to the forefront the topic that must be talked about. What is it? It's acting or tending to preserve oneself or itself, self-preserving instincts or behaviors. It's a novel about whether, amid the absurd twists and cruelties of life, you end up being a self-preserving observer of the fray, a committed fighter against overwhelming odds, or something uncomfortably in between. Self-preservation is not the act of being selfish at all. In fact, it is all about being selfless with ourselves and others.
And sometimes with that self-preparation, I would say that sometimes it can cause panic with you not being a trained mind. Only way you can start that knowledge of yourself is to be aware of it. Mm-hmm. See into the situation. And that's what we're going to talk about. That's what I'm going to touch on about how you could become more awareness. And at the second half, I'm going to talk about more solutions of how to prepare yourself for things that could happen. Because these days now, things change in a blink of an eye, day by day. 1 minute we run out of gas.
Running on fumes.
Running on fumes, on food shortage, all kind of stuff. War, vaccines, everything is just moving so fast. And that's what Transitional Changes made this show to talk about. Just to touch on some of the situations that be in the hand with us, which is what was recently the gas shortage on the East Coast. It just brought us to light to see if people are being more prepared and being awareness about your reaction to things that you see from the media or what you hear from the grapevine.
Yes. We're going to pause and take a look around because it seems that the easiest thing to disregard in our day-to-day lives is too often ourselves. We've become infatuated with what's going on around us and not inside of us, letting external interference ruin our internal affairs. And with summer coming up to show us no mercy with the weather, it's important to take time to realize that we are our star players. And like any good coach, it's our responsibility to ensure our own sanity and happiness. So don't go insane.
No, we need you to be sane. And that's a good thing to say, Queen Summers, because through all this, it helps us enhance our family towards situations and making us be more aware of how to plan throughout situations and practice that, go through rehearsal of that, everything.
Right.
So I said all that to spread that, to encourage any family members or any single people out there, just prepare yourself. Because one thing, what I have witnessed with this gas shortage, is like what Queen Summer was saying, is some people are being not consciously thinking about not being selfish.
Right.
Due to the media putting out one-day story of a gas shortage. And it shows me that, are you really being controlled like a joystick? Are you allowing that to happen? And are you aware of that? Because if I'm sitting on a full tank of gas, the media came out, that means that I probably was in the planning of keeping gas around or doing these times now. We really haven't been socializing like we could or traveling like we could. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't jump on media putting out that everything is going to be okay and then the lights go on, then the lights go off. Mm-hmm. So with that said, I just sit back and sometimes I see situations come up on the media and I do not react. Some people might say that might be rebellious, but I say that it's just I'm not being controlled by no other forces or entities.
Right. And I also see in some of these clips that they are showing all over the place where you have 10 cars on one gas pump. Now, I'm not going to say all 10 of those cars might not have somewhere important to go, but I know for a fact with the statistics that's out right now with the unemployment rates, 5 of those cars is not going to work tomorrow. And they sitting in the line, taking up the space, taking up the resources, taking up the things that is viable for these essential workers. Why? Because they are not self-preserving.
Well, I would say that they just fall into the trend of what they trust. And that's an awareness point that people need to self-analyze with themselves. Who do you trust the most? Like Queen Summer said a couple of minutes ago about how can you become to the person that you trust the most, which should be yourself.
Right.
But not to say that we got surroundings or environments that could make us pay more attention to the outside of us, the external. But one thing that I could try to explain to people how to recognize that everything has a cause and a effect. With that said, it's keywords, two things to reflect on. And some people believe it or not. They say that the eyes are the key to the soul. So if a person sit there 23 hours out of the day or 8 hours out of the day, 4 hours out of the day, which other wolf that you feed the most will win the battle.
Right.
And so whatever you're doing the most can sometimes unawareness to yourself take over you. And your body will do the motions of what it sees. It is a training process of how to gain control back of your senses. They are yours to control. Not the media, not politics, not what you see or hear. It's about what your gut feeling is telling you.
And self-preserving in this way empowers us to feel in control of our own lives. We are given respect and permission to take care of whom? Ourselves. So setting limits and boundaries with kindness is the essence of self-preservation. Learning how to do this takes practice and time. As with all changes, self-preservation is a process.
Indeed, yes, it is a process. Almost everything in life is a process to enhance or to take in. And when you recognize that it is a fault within yourself about some process that is not being taken over to a point to where a person like me can ride past a gas station with 10 cars in it and keep going. That means my mind, something in me might be saying, you might need some gas later on. Gotta have a tank of gas right now. But I might sit there and say to myself that I got faith in myself, I believe in myself, and I believe in you vehicle that I purchased, that we're going to make it.
Right.
I'm not going to just fall into the trend. I'm not that type of person. I'm not saying to be judgmental to people that's like that because everything has a reason. If it wasn't for people, for me to ride past and see 10 people at a gas station waiting on one pump, I wouldn't know how to keep riding.
Right.
Or how to take in the process, how could I avoid being in that line? So everybody is needed in this purpose. It's for the ones that is recognizing from something that is in the past that was encouraged not by you, take a listen to Transition to Changes Mission on this show right here. Hopefully, and we pray that this show right here will help you slow down, breathe, do a self-analyzation about what is the situation. How can I avoid panic? How can I get my body back in tune to where it can be calm from whatever I see, from whatever I smell, or whatever I can feel? Because panic does cause damage.
Right.
It has been studies to show if it's gunfire, a person panic that has not been trained can run right into the fire. That's why firefighters is trained in the ways of how to go inside a building. Now, police officers, yourself at work, everything is a process of training. And so take the time out to yourself to do the same because we know as in 2020, things are subject to change. And sometimes if you haven't been trained, you don't want to be in that reaction of panic.
No. And if you are enjoying our show this evening, please feel free to visit our website at www.transitionalchangesmission.wordpress.com and stay tuned. Stick around for all of our shows because we will be debuting our new and improved website, and that address will be coming soon to you. And many times we find ourselves in situations of wanting to be helpful, compassionate, and giving to others for whatever reasons that are propelling us to do so. The beauty about empathy is that it allows us to share in others' joy, along with crying alongside of them. It's letting someone know that they are not alone. You may not have words of comfort to share, but you can lend an ear or a hug. However, it's finding the balance of giving only as much as we can within limits, counting our blessings, yet realizing that whatever someone else is going through is also unique to their life's path and growth. In turn, it's giving the same help and compassion introspectively so we can save ourselves. We can also benefit from help when we need it, along with graciously receiving what others sincerely want to share and do for us. If we are no use to ourselves, in fact, we are no use to anybody else that may depend on us or who appreciate what it is we have to offer. Self-preservation is one of the most important gifts we can give to ourselves. By knowing our limits, honoring our needs and desires, and taking time to heal and repair, we are able to give ourselves more spark to radiate our internal light.
And that's one of the reasons why I claim that humans on planet Earth is one of the powerful beings in the cosmos. Yes. It's just that there are ways to tune in to yourself, to get guidance to where you need to be at. And in this matrix, you need to be at the right place at the right time. And have a thinking process through that moment of time.
And how you going to get there?
Yes, because it's only space in between that. It is calculated timing of your next move. And there is always somebody watching. Always keep that in mind. Because if you don't realize what's going on, somebody else will. And you might not even recognize that or realize somebody is being watching you. So to a point to what Queen Summers was saying, lend a hand to a person that is making a mistake. If you see the door open, and take the opportunity to help them out in a situation. You never know what is the cause and the effect of that. But one thing that Transition to Changes Mission can say, and will be, do it in a safely manner.
Right. Right. You have to be safe and stay safe. I mean, one thing they saying now, the CDC is lowering the standards of to wear masks or not to wear masks. I say do your research. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. You don't have to follow the crowd just because they done threw the mask off and they run around smiling and grinning again. You might want to be safe about that.
Yes.
Preserve yourself.
Preserve yourself to the knowledge that you know that your body is trying to tell you. That's the main voice that is trying to tell you that the Creator lives and the energy is harnessed inside your vessel. And it's always talking to you with the surrounding natural causes of everything that is. Trees, birds, everything is talking.
Yes.
Just that you have to learn how to open up your ears to hear them. Everything can guide you to the place that you need to be in this matrix. Again, please just take breathing, meditation, and prepare yourself for change. And that's why Transition to Changes mission is named the way we are named. We are the transition of a change that is turning into a mission. And please share our shows at all times to anybody. Tell them about tcmissionspeaks@gmail.com to a point to where they can write emails to us. Reach out to us through our telephone number at 910-985-9090. And so with that said, what we're going to do right now is get ready to take that break, take all this knowledge in. We are finna dive into the solutions. Yes, I'm going to drop some things that hopefully, and I pray that you take in that can get you prepared for change, because it's coming. Change is coming. Just like we finna change over into solutions. So stick with us. Thank you. Can't thank you enough. Thank you for coming back with us, being patient with us, and everything, man. We really appreciate you. If it wasn't for you, we won't be here. So we thank you all the way cold-heartedly, warm-heartedly, everything. I just can't thank you enough, man. We appreciate everybody that is a part of the Transition to Changes mission about ending family homelessness and bridging the gap of communication. That's one thing that we are touching up on this current event, about trying to close the gap of communication by dropping some bomb knowledge to help people be more aware about their surroundings and everything. So stay tuned. Come on back in. We'll be right back with you. Thank you.